Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to the Friday Night Chop Session with Stormybman for this Friday, October 13th, 2023. And this is number 219 in the series of chop sessions, and we're calling this one the Super Welters on Deck. We got some super welterweight action transpiring this weekend, October 14th, from all around the world, and we got to look forward to some heated boxing action. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Maybe take on some other topics that have come through the news this week as of late. There's always something happening in the sport of boxing, but not enough of what we would like to see happen in the sport of boxing. But it is what it is. I appreciate everybody decide to come out and rock with Stormy this evening. We're going to take a quick moment and see who's in the building. We got T. Berry out there with the Bruce Lee emojis. We appreciate you, T. Berry. Sheena, the queen, is out there. She's got the channel emojis going. What's going on with you? She says salute Stormy B Man and salute to the chat. Universal Truth is back with us. Learn is in the building saying salute. And B Mac is back saying salute Stormy B Man. Mrs. Just Do Boxing is out there popping in saying good evening, peace and blessings. Same to you, sister. Hope you're doing well. We have come to the end of another week. It has been quite a long, drawn out, and trying week for myself. I am not feeling my best, but I'm here to do my best because that's what we do. We step up to the plate and we try to get a hit. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's all about. Jimmy Bernard is in the building saying salute Stormy B Man. What's good, chat? Smash the like button while entering the class. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hit that like button. Hit it like it's a speed bag. Yeah. You know, sometimes when you put these shows together, things come together on their own. Sometimes you have to put feelers out to see where the current is going to flow. Last night I did a nice show, another one of the Stormy B Man's boxing raps, where I talked about the fourth quarter of the year in boxing and how things are shaking out. It was a pretty decent show. And as we talked about the fights that are on the horizon, it is quite exciting to see how far we've come through the year looking back. I'm also trying to put together my end of the year awards. Of course, it won't be complete until the calendar year of boxing ends, but at the same time, as I've looked back, man, we have had some barn burners and some upsets and all types of entertainment when this sport has played out. So much to the degree that I don't believe enough of you have really taken that in and looked at what has been delivered. Yeah, you can moan and be groan what hasn't happened, but what has? Psh, man, it has been an awesome year in the sport. An awesome year. We got Tay Brown in the building. She's saying salute Master Sifu and salute to the chat. Everybody else is greeting one another. And you guys, don't forget, you can always share the content, right? Share it to the other social medias. If you got Instagram, share Stormy on Instagram. I'm not on Instagram, so let people know about Stormybman on Instagram, huh? If you got Twitter, I'm on Twitter. Put them on Twitter, you know. And if you've got your own pages, if you've got your own channels, share it to your community page, you know. I want to do a subscription drive. I want to get this channel over. I want to get this channel over 5,000 by December. I should be headed towards 6,000 or 7,000, to be honest with you. But I'm not greedy. But I want to hit 5,000 by December. Can you guys help me out with that? Those who attend my shows on a regular basis, I know who you are. You don't even have to raise a hand, but I would ask that you do that for me. You know, we're trying to push things because I want to do better things for you guys with what I have in mind. You have no idea about my mind when it comes to creativity and the insightfulness of how I see growth in the channel and what I want to offer for those who are members of the channel. I haven't had any member giveaways lately because I am trying to steer things in a certain direction where, you know, when we have the super fights or pay-per-view fights, we can garner enough support where I can have giveaways to pay for someone's pay-per-view, or, you know, multiple packages of doing something similar to that, or funding something of where we can have something that goes toward a community type deal where it's focused on this channel. We want to do a lot of different things, but it's going to require us all working together. That's what it's all about. I want to say salute to Patrick out there with that Cash App donation. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Patrick, thank you so much. There's a lot that can be done, and I'm just excited. I was looking back over some of my older content, like going back 4 years ago. It's actually been 4 years since I started creating content And if you look at it, it's like the subscriber count has basically grown about 1,000 a year, and it's like we want to step that up a little bit so I can do some other things for you guys. One of the last things I wanted to do was to bring various personalities in on the channel for interviews and things of that nature, because I am not trying to attach the channel with, familiar people name dropping and things of that nature. I want it all to be very organic from the productivity of how I create for you guys, because it's easy to get people on and sit up and so-called hold interviews and things of that nature, but the creative process where things become totally your own, that's kind of the lane that I operate from. You've seen it with the various shows I produce, whether it's, boxing raps, Dine and Dish, Answering the Bell. If it's been, Turning the Page and Boxing History, Kung Fu Film Focus, all of those shows were created as a means of various avenues for me to express the knowledge I have and experience I have with certain subjects, as well as introducing some outlets that'll allow us to even get away from the sport of boxing from time to time. Nerds on Culture, which is really taking off very well. The brother Drew Titan and myself, we're doing great, moving greatly in that area. So just want to do more for you guys. Want to do more. So you can help me, help you, so we all will be helped on our journey. Yeah. $704 Joe is in the building. What's going on with you, $704 Joe? We see you out there. Edgar Chavez is out there as well, saying Stormybman, peace, sensei, and salute to the chat family. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Smash that like button, people. Jimmy Bernard says, Sensei, Nerds on Culture is a masterpiece. Hey, man. There's nothing wrong with coming there on Monday nights getting your nerd on, huh? Because there's a little nerd in all of us, but some people like to suppress that because they associate nerd with something negative. But let me tell you, it's far from negative, huh? And having a person that has dipped into the excitement of what their culture has to offer, nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all. So let's kick things off with a little bit of boxing news. Man, how many of you have seen either full interviews or sound bites over the past 24 to 48 hours of Andy Ruiz Jr.? Let me see a show of hands out there if you've seen Andy coming out talking lately. He basically showed up at the Benavidez Andre press conference. I guess he's supporting Benavidez, but he made certain to stop off and talk to the press a little bit. But it was some of the things that he was saying, you know, talking about he wants to get back in the ring next year. He would like to have a tune-up fight and then go for the likes of Deontay Wilder. He talked about, you know, Jesus gave him a dream of knocking out a big, tall heavyweight, and he thinks that it's Wilder. He talked about talking to Wilder. They have each other's phone number, and that, you know, they need to talk to each other and get a negotiation under the way so that they can have a fight. He's ready to do it. He's ready to knock Wilder out. Then he also mentioned money. And that's the worst part of it all, because he says something along the lines of $25 million. 25 million of those things. I wouldn't give that fat, you know what, 25 cents, man. I mean, he really is a prima donna. He had the unified heavyweight championship titles in his grasp. And the only thing he could do was put more food on his plate and eat his way 30 pounds heavier than the first fight that he had with Joshua in the bout that he won. And he thinks like someone like Wilder is going to pay him $25 million to get in the ring. He's definitely got fat around the brain. Definitely. T-Berry says, I heard about it. Queen says he's getting desperate. T-Berry says, yeah, he looked at his bank account and, ooh, Jesus. Laugh my, yep. Universal Truth says, insane. Yeah. Insane. He struggled against a 40-plus Chris Arreola, who really should have been the first Mexican heavyweight champion in history. The fact that someone like Andy got it is disgraceful, because he did not defend it with any pride whatsoever. I think that he entered the fight, the rematch with Joshua, he might as well had a buffet table set up in his corner in between rounds. He couldn't even move in the fight. He couldn't even get after Joshua. He was moving like a sloth in there. Have any of you ever seen the animal, a sloth? You ever seen a film be put in slow motion? Well, a sloth moves slower than that. $25 million. Why? So his camp and he can blow it on drugs and food? Disgraceful and insane, as members have said here. TS Boxing, I see you out there. What's good? He says, I've got Zoo by decision. TS Boxing, you don't believe in Mendoza? You give Mendoza no shot? I'll tell you one thing. Well, I'll save that for later in the show. Queen 71 says his dad needs that money for his construction business. Well, then he needs to go see the bank. Because that's not who Deontay Wilder is. Deontay fights because he chooses to, not because he has to. Andy is looking for opportunity, and Deontay is fresh out of opportunity. He has given enough to boxing and the scum of boxing. Now he's just looking to take heads. And he'll wait patiently for the heads to come across on a platter. But no more is he in the business of giving, unless it's an ass whipping. Yeah. Over 40 something views now, only 14 likes. In the words of my brother Blue Blood Sports TV, can someone give $1 to the super chat to refresh the super chat? Can someone hit the like button? Can someone share the show? You're here, you may as well participate. Unbelievable. Edgar Chavez, what's good with you? I'm just looking at these numbers, man. It's really an insult to my intelligence. You know, with the way that I feel from time to time, I come on and I give a great deal of myself, but I don't see the reciprocation, even in doing something as simple as hitting the like button. I had 2 videos today, 2 videos yesterday, plus two live streams tonight and yesterday. Salute to the Queen, Sheena, out there in that super chat. She says, dropping a cinco in my blue bloods voice on my sensei Stormy. I appreciate you, Stormy B man. Thank you, Sheena. I appreciate you. But see, you're one of the people that you're always here, you're always supporting. But we got like at least 20 that's out there. They come by. They don't hit the like button. They just like want to see what I'm talking about. It's really, you know, man. Anyway, let me go ahead and get into this where I was talking about Andy. Andy should really get his butt in the ring and fight somebody. He shouldn't even think about Deontay Wilder. Shouldn't even think about him. And Learn is saying Wilder should have done some tune-ups in the meantime. The thing is, Learn that they're blackballing Wilder. No one's fighting him because the promoters have talked to their fighters and they've blocked any dealings with Wilder. See, that's what you guys don't realize. They've blocked him. They're trying to push Wilder over that threshold like they did King Kong Ortiz. the 40-year-old threshold. Remember when Wilder announced in 2022 he knocked out Hellenius, he said, I want to fight 3 times in 2023, and no fighter took up the challenge. No fighter. And all that talk about Wilder and AJ was a hopeful situation because AJ wanted to face Wilder. Wilder wanted to face AJ, but Hearn is holding it up. Hearn has stepped in the way of that. He's interfered as he always had. He is not going to let that fight happen because he can't have anything to do with Wilder. He can't get future options on Wilder. He can't promote any of Wilder's future fights. Upon victory, he won't be able to flip and dictate terms in a rematch. None of that. So the same with Frank Warren. $704 Joe says he's looking for my Cash App. My Cash App is $Stormybman 66, all capital letters. $Stormybman 66. It scrolls at the bottom of the screen there, and it's also in the description box. Jay Gibson is out there. What's good with you? He says salute to Stormybman and the family. T. Berry, if I could put your comment on the screen, I would, but I'm not using the Streamlabs or StreamYard right now. But you're absolutely correct. They'll let Fury get his money. They even took Wilder's opponent away from him because it was Wilder who was originally in talks to fight Ngannou. And then in swoop Fury and Fury's promotional team to steal that fight away. Ngannou is just looking for a fight. If you were to step back and just allow yourself to see what's really going on, you would see what they're doing to Deontay Wilder. But the great part of it is Wilder is a very intelligent man. He's not talking, but he's letting all the actions play out. Anyone else in the sport can make $1 except for those who are really making a path and making headway in the sport. And that would be the likes of Wilder and Devin Haney. It's as clear as day. And see, they can't lie on Wilder because Wilder is not talking. He's not talking. And the fact that he's being quiet, he gives them nothing to say. Because if he hasn't opened his mouth, they can't misconstrue his words or anything. Salute to 704 Joe out there in that Cash App. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Learn saying, I remember Johnny Rice on the stream. Although he had a fight deal with PBC, he said that they can't stop him from making a living. If he wanted, they can make him take a fight on another platform, which he did in his last fight on Top Rank. Yeah. And Johnny Rice ain't fought in a while. No, Learn. It's not about him going to another platform. He's an independent, just like Haney. He can negotiate with the highest bidders and things of that nature, but they're not trying to bid with him. They're trying to freeze him out. They're trying to put him on ice. They're telling the fighters, it doesn't matter which platform, if it's PBC, if it's Top Rank, if it's Queensberry, if it's Matchroom, if it's Sky Boxing with Boxer, it doesn't matter which one it is. They are not offering up their fighters to face Deontay Wilder, but everybody else can make a fight. If you fight Deontay Wilder, it's automatically a couple of $1 million. If you're a fighter that's never made $1 million, there you go. If you're a fighter that has fallen off and looking for a comeback opportunity with a nice payday, there you go. If you're a journeyman, there you go. But they won't do it because they've been directed not to. Why do you think there are not any other heavyweight fights taking place? I got a Tuesday tussle coming up where the subject is, where are the heavyweights? Where are they? Talking about Tyson Fury, he's getting ready to face Ngannou, who's not a heavyweight fighter. He's coming from another sport. That's an exhibition in which it really means nothing in the sport of boxing. Ngannou is not going to win that fight. You guys have really got to see what's going on here, man. This is really, I'm telling you, it's a single black murderer's row in the heavyweight division revolving around Deontay Wilder. Boxing matchups where DD Free is out there saying, salute Stormybman, salute to you. T-Berry says, Wilder is his own boss. He did try to go to another platform. He not with PBC anymore. Right. Because he can make his own deals, meaning like, the way he made the deals to face Tyson Fury. Even though the second fight ended up with a Fury victory, he had a rematch obligation that Fury had to honor. And Fury tried to get out of that. They said that the terms of that rematch were similar to the fact that either Fury retire and vacate the belt or give Deontay his third fight. Spence and Crawford have a similar deal. Crawford can talk about fighting whomever he wants to, but he has to give Errol Spence his rematch if Errol wants his rematch. Those contractual obligations are bound by law. You have to do it. And sometimes trying to break that is worse than just taking the fight, because sometimes it cripples your career. You might not be able to fight at all for a certain period of time. You have to read the fine print in the contracts. Sometimes it'll tell you you got to wait 2 or 3 years to fight if you don't give this person a fight. Yes, they put those terms in there, but see, you guys, when you talk about, oh, somebody should fight this, he should take that amount of money, he should do this, you never know what those terms imply. You have no idea. Just because you see the dollar figures, because that's not the money that you make. But all those dollars doesn't make all that sense for you to just to sign your life away. When Mikey Garcia left Top Rank Boxing, he sat out almost 3 years. That was so the terms of his contract would end. Because if he had fought with them, that would be the duration that he had fought over those 3 years. If you sign a 5-fight deal and you fight 3 of those fights in 1 year, they're not going to let you fight the next year and the next year and finish. You got to spread the last few fights out over the contractual year. And as it's coming up to the end, that's when they're going to try to get you to re-up with them with certain kind of terms. If you happen to be a titleist, you might not be able to re-sign the deal if you don't remain with the company with the title. Jessica McCaskill has gone through something like that similar. Alicia Baumgardner has mysteriously popped dirty after having a career of being clean. And it's funny how she was coming up to the end of her contract with Matchroom. Ooh, boy, don't let Stormy start talking. I don't like to talk about this part of the sport, because it's the part that make you really not like it. And it takes the love away, and then it takes me away. Learn says, I don't know where Wilder goes from then. Let's say the fight with Joshua happens. I don't want to see him go in straight without a fight in between. Listen. Wilder stays in the gym. He stays fit. He doesn't burn the candle at both ends. He doesn't drink and all of that stuff that people do to get out of shape due to inactivity plus. Plus, he's a high motor guy. He's really motivated for things, but it's more to it than just, taking a fight in between. I told you, if these men have locked their kennels up with their fighters, there won't be any fight. Miguel Santana says, from an outside view, it seems Wilder would have to take a big pay cut to fight someone other than the big names, so it makes sense for him to sit out. What you're not understanding, Miguel, is the big names and the small names, the in-between names, have all been taken off the table for Wilder. He's being frozen out. the Saudis offered the sweetest deal that a fighter could want, and that was unlimited resources to the fighters to allow them to put their matches on. AJ agreed to it. Wilder agreed to it. Ed Hearn said no way. Without his involvement will Joshua be allowed to accept that. Remember, Joshua, just a couple of years ago, after the loss to Usyk the first go around, signed a lifetime deal with Ed Hearn and Matchroom. A lifetime. So he has no leverage. He really can't be his own man like Wilder can, like Devin Haney can. And that's what you guys don't understand. You make certain sacrifices so you can be independent. You remember everybody crying that Wilder should have took that deal that was $100 million, but no guarantee of a fight with AJ. So there was no guarantee shot at Undisputed. It would have just meant he would have been fighting over there whomever they decide to let him fight or not fight. That was a shit deal. And they came forward and acknowledged that they offered him a shit deal. They did. He didn't say anything. He just walked away. Frank Sanchez could say whatever he wants to say, but who does he fight for? And how often does Frank Sanchez fight? And he got hurt by that journeyman that he just fought. Frank Sanchez is older than Deontay Wilder. They lie about his age. He's a Cuban fighter. The worst part of all of this is I can talk till the cows come home, but people are not going to listen to the fact that Wilder's being frozen out. Now, I don't say that with like, oh, poor Wilder. I don't say it like that. But I say it from the business standpoint because they can't control him. And if he fights certain fights and gets the titles, then that makes it very difficult for them because they don't really have the type of talent that can test him or challenge him to take titles away from him. So it's best not to allow him back into the arena to contest for titles because they fraudulently lifted his title to begin with. Now, some people can hear what I just said and get angry and pissed off about that. Oh, here we go. Yes, his titles were taken from him. Well, his title, because he was the WBC champion. But in 2 fights, he was up against something more than what you could see on your telly. And in 3 fights, he was cheated. The first fight, he was cheated. The third fight, he was cheated. The second fight, unethical what happened in the second fight. People should go to jail for what happened in the second fight. And I'm still waiting for that shoe to drop. Fury can't even fight in the United States anymore. He can't come to this country. He can't come to Vegas and fight. He cannot go to that nice home that he bought in Vegas, that he was parading around in. He had to sell that home. It's getting hot. The walls are closing in. Hendog said, because they didn't see his worth. Oh, they see his worth. That's why they're doing what they're doing. We're living in times where they do not want a man of Wilder's caliber or Devin Haney's caliber to be on top, so that you will have someone to look up to, so that your children have someone like that to look up to someone that can do it with strength, intelligence, and not partaking into a lot of these things that many allow themselves to be sidetracked by. Learn is saying, okay, Stormy, what you say about Wilder's rank? He's number one in the WBC and WBA and rising in the other two. Well, Learn, I will tell you this, and this is why I call you Learn and not the name that you go by in the chat. David Benavidez has been the number one contender in the WBC of the 168-pound division for over 2 years. When is he going to get his title shot? When are the WBC going to mandate that Canelo face him? I'll wait for your answer. And don't make me wait too long. That's just an example. The WBO stripped Jermell Charlo of one of his titles. When the bell rang for the first round of his fight against Canelo Alvarez, and it made Tim Tszyu the WBO champion, and he's defending that belt this Saturday, tomorrow night, against Brian Mendoza. I don't hear anybody calling Tim Tszyu an email champion. That's why I'm the sensei and you're here as Learn. You're damn right. You see, I don't like to talk about the ugliness of this sport. That's right, T-Berry, but they won't strip Fury. Fury has made shit defenses since gaining victory over Wilder. And I said gaining victory. I didn't say winning Wilder. I didn't say beating Wilder. I didn't say defeating Wilder. I said since gaining victory over Wilder, he's had 3 shit fights in a row. Learn, he is not inactive. Nobody wants to fight him. Guillermo Rigondeaux was in the same situation just a few years ago. How quickly you all forget this. We do this content night in, night out, week in, week out, year in, year out, and you guys sit here and listen to us and still don't pay attention to what the fuck we say. And I don't cap for nobody. I'm telling you fucking facts. These are the facts of this boxing life. And you guys sit here and watch this shit. You got over 70 something people that have watched this show. Only 20 people hit my fucking like button. But these motherfuckers out here listening because I'm telling the goddamn truth on this bullshit. King Kong Ortiz, Guillermo Rigondeaux, Gary Russell Jr., all of this shit, Deontay Wilder, Devin Haney, the fucking list goes on and fucking on. They stole Gary Russell Jr.'s title away from him, that kid Maxwell, and he turned around and lost the fight just a fight or two later. But Gary went into that fight fighting with one hand, and he literally beat the kid with one hand. But they took the title away from him. At that point, he was the longest reigning champ. Not necessarily because it was just the length of time that he held the titles, but because he couldn't get certain fights made because he didn't want to play the game. So he fought his mandatories. And he could do that. But people fought him. They say, oh, Gary didn't want to do this and Gary didn't want to do that. But he was exercising and flexing a certain amount of independence that he had, leverage that he had. Yeah. Coming up tomorrow night, we're going to see the return of Miguel Berchelt in a lightweight bout, 10 rounds. He's taking on Diego Alberto Ruiz from Argentina. Ruiz is 29 years of age, and he's a fighter that doesn't necessarily have a lot of knockouts on his record. Only 12 out of his 24 wins. So he's not a puncher, and that's a good thing because Berchelt has had a rough go over his past couple of fights. That Nakatila fight, which was in March of last year, saw Berchelt get stopped. Then before that, he was stopped in 2021, February, against Oscar Valdez. We saw that. But he's coming back, and I would like to see Berchelt come back. I think he's a good fighter. He's always had an exciting style. And he's the type of fighter that makes boxing interesting to watch with how he performs in the ring. So salute to him. Salute to Universal Truth out there with that super chat donation. Thank you, Universal Truth. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. See, Miguel Berchelt is a fighter. If you throw him back into the era of the 90s, he was like the typical contender out there. Though he's a former champion, he may not have made it to be a champion in the 90s, but he was definitely one of those men who were tough enough to be a top 10 contender. He's 31 years of age right now, and you know, he's 5'7", and he's a comer. He'll bring it all night long for as long as he can hang in there. But he's the kind of fighter that I like to watch fight. And I'm glad to see him coming back. Now I wish him all the luck in the world. That's a heavy Latino card, though. It's a DAZN card, and is taking place in Yucatan, Mexico. So we'll see, how things go there. Now, getting into those super welters, which would be Mendoza challenging Zoo, I'll save that for last. But I do want to talk about the middleweight unification. I did a breakdown video on this. The fight that's going to take place between Janibek Alumakanuli taking on Vincenzo Gualtieri. And this fight right here could be the fight of the weekend if Gualtieri comes out there and really takes it to Janibek. I got this feeling that he may try to. I've seen some film on him, and if he can bring the same type of confidence that I've seen him fight in the opposition that he's faced against Janibek, it may be a different fight. I've heard some things about Janibek, though. I've heard about him possibly juicing. I don't know. Alleged. But we'll have to see. But he's definitely a fighter that he has limitations. Allegedly, he's enrolled in the VADA program. So, I don't know. But they list him at 5'11 and a half. I think he's more like 6'2". He's taller than Gualtieri, but by a couple of inches. And they had their weigh-in today, and Vincenzo was staring him down, man. It was like he was looking at him like, dude, I ain't no punk. Vincenzo weighed in at 159 and a half, and Janibek weighed in at 159.3. This will be for the WBO and the IBF middleweight titles. Yeah, see, that's the thing about these fighters. This is why I said if he brings the same type, because that guy wasn't afraid of Frank Martin. He wasn't, and he had a little more experience than Frank Martin. When guys can bring something with that intestinal side can come through, that usually determines the fight more than skill sometimes. And Janibek has gone in there and bullied a lot of guys and everything, but he had some problems against Denzel Bentley, who's a very good boxer out of the UK, but didn't have any power whatsoever. Excuse Excuse me. And Janibek won that fight against Bentley, but he didn't look good. Also, it's going to depend on what does Janibek rehydrate up to, because I don't know. He looks a lot taller than Vincenzo. And Vincenzo, he might run into a buzzsaw like when Benavidez fought, what's his name? And he came in so much bigger. The guy that was the puncher. What's his name? Fought Benavidez. I was trying to think of Benavidez when he fought David Lemieux. Benavidez was so much bigger than David Lemieux. He towered over him and everything. And that could be a case in this situation. Lemieux and Benavidez, you know, what was Benavidez? 6'2", and Lemieux was like 5'9", and that was a big deficit. And he had Lemieux kind of banged out of there, 3 rounds. So this fight could end up going like that, but not if the German Vincenzo comes in with intestinal fortitude. If he comes in with that, that Russia and Kazakhstan thing, that Russia-Ukraine, it's like they could have some real fire burning underneath the surface there. So, that's another way to look at it. And I'm sorry, nobody else is putting it together like that, but I can see those kind of things taking place. And that would make it a much tougher fight than many people would even see looking from the outside in. He's got fights out there on YouTube, Vincenzo. You can go and check him out. I looked at a few of them. He's kind of like got that cutesy style. He's in and out. He'll move around on you and then he'll turn and start firing on you. It's like he's not a punk from how I've seen him fight. And he has that IBF title. Sometimes just having a title gives you 10%, more confidence in your abilities and things of that nature. And that weigh-in was interesting because the face-off, they were really staring into each other. I don't know what they saw, but they were looking at each other over a minute. I just want the guy to be able to be strong enough to come in there and contend. Before we get to the other fight of the night, this upcoming promotion between Haney and Prograis, did you guys see Drew Titan's show this morning where he talked about that tweet that Mauricio Suleiman put out about a busted test for Haney or whatever, and then he came back and corrected himself, saying that the spell check put the wrong word in what he was trying to say and all of that. Listen, man, where there's smoke, there's fire. I've never cared for Mauricio, but there's a lot to be said about how this man operates in the sport of boxing. He has yet to explain Canelo Alvarez not defending it against a man who has been the number one contender for 2 years. Over 2 years. A man who was the original titleist with that WBC title at 168. This Haney and Prograis fight is a good fight, though. Can't wait till we get closer, but it's so far away right now, December 9th. But it'll be here before you know it. Yeah, our man be on top of that stuff, man. That's why I say we got soldiers out here that do things, in their own way, own time, and that's what's needed. We need specialists, guys who can do certain things. Like BFTB, he's a specialist at what he does. You know what I mean? 78, the general, is a specialist at what he does. I can break things down pretty darn good. That's my specialty or whatever. Drew has his way. Cano Loco, he has a inside track on the sport as well as being a manager and trainer and things of that nature. So he has his own specialty. So it's like a lot of us can do different things, but culminating as a team, we can hit this from all angles. $704 Joe is asking, David versus Boo Boo Sensei, who you got? We got 6 weeks. That's what we got. Huh? Who you got? I got 6 weeks to think about that. Huh? And I ain't gonna talk about it tonight. How about that? Huh? 704. Well, then they don't need to fight then. You got David, that's good, huh? They don't need to fight now. Let's make some more fights, huh? See, this is what I be talking about focusing up. Now, I was talking about this. I got these two men on the screen here. I was talking about this, and 704 decided to come in here and pull his PP out and say, hey, y'all, what y'all think it is? Huh? And ain't nobody thinking about your PP. They was thinking about what I was talking about. Huh? Because Artman put some information out there because he caught this tweet about this that Mauricio did and everything. Learn is talking about it in the chat, and here you come. You see? When I was talking about Deontay Wilder earlier and all the fighters that you know these people been shitting on, and ain't nobody said nothing. Everybody just quiet. Cause I put the information out there. You know we have been talking about this shit for years. And then people get fucking, you know, amnesia. I ain't got no damn amnesia. You can go through my archives and see all the shit that I said. I had a video called Welcome to Black Murderers Row, and some of y'all never even watched it because you're lazy like that, huh? You want to catch the shorts and the TikToks. Well, Stormy ain't doing no damn TikToks. Stormy is doing these lives and doing these damn videos, and I'm sorry, goddammit, but some of the videos is 10 minutes or less. Huh? And if you ain't got the patience for 10 minutes, don't waste my time with your 10 minutes in my chat talking bullshit. $80-something views and motherfuckers only 25 likes. Coming up tomorrow night in a fight that probably is the matchup of the evening, the junior middleweights, super welterweights showdown. WBO champion, email champion, Tim Zoot is taking on Brian Mendoza. It'll be broadcast on Showtime tomorrow night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. but they fighting in Australia, so that's like a day, you know, Sunday over there or whatever, I guess. Now, Tim Tszyu, 28 years old, Brian Mendoza, 29. They're both orthodox fighters. Tim Tszyu is 5'8.5" with 72-inch reach. Mendoza is 5'10" with a 70-inch reach. And Mendoza got real knockout power. He be knocking people the hell out. You could ask Sebastian Fendora. You could ask Jason Rosario. You could ask Benjamin Whitaker, because they all suffered at the fist of Brian Mendoza. Carlos Ocampo suffered a first round KO, and Tony Harrison took Tim Tszyu about 6-7 rounds before he decided that he didn't want any more. But prior to that, Terrell Goucher had Tszyu on the canvas in the first round of their fight, and after that forgot that he could throw punches for the rest of the fight. So the way I see it, I'm looking at it like this. Mendoza got a chance of a lifetime. He should go up there and hit that sucker upside his head, take his title, and escape to the airport and get the hell up out of there. But the Australian mob allegedly might have something to say about that. And I said it. That's why they fighting all the fights over there, because they can control things. But hopefully Mendoza, you know, can show them a little something different. Well, we'll see. I would like Mendoza to win the fight because of the momentum he has. But it's a good fight. If they were fighting on neutral ground, I would call it a 50-50 fight. Because they're fighting in Australia, I call it a 75-25 fight for Tim Tszyu. But that 25 is a good 25. I mean, very good. If they were fighting in the U.S., I would call it 60-40 for Mendoza. That's the type of fight I see it. That's right, Learn. That's 100% correct. In my breakdown video today, only 21 views. That's a damn shame. 21 views. But y'all be talking about, oh, boxing is dead and there's nothing happening in boxing and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, Goodman is okay. We'll see what he has. Escaped with a razor-thin decision in his last fight, though. We'll see. But yeah, man, that's what's happening tomorrow. All these fights. Then even next week we got more coming up. There's like fights every weekend, and good fights too, people. Good fights. So I look forward to that stuff. Sheena's asking, Stormy, does Jermell Charlo win 2 times undisputed if he wins back his 154 WBO title? Yes. Yes. There's a lot of incentive in him returning to the division to do that. They should never have stripped him of the belt anyway, but I can understand why they did, because Tim Tszyu stepped aside twice for him to fight Castaño, and then he went on and took the fight against Canelo without giving Tim Tszyu his opportunity. But Tim Tszyu might be able to get him to come over to Australia for that fight. And that's going to be difficult for Mel because, everybody know, and I talked about this, Mel don't like to leave his living room or his bed laying next to his good thing when he's training for fights. He wants to be able to lay all up in it and everything, spread it all over himself, and walk out the house smelling like it, but he don't know what it means to deny himself and to have something real to fight for. So I think it's over for him, actually. I really do. That 2-time, it ain't gonna happen. He can always try to prove me wrong, but I said it and I'm standing by it. So you guys will get a chance to tune in and watch the email champ tomorrow night. Sheena says, good. I think Bud is going to try and fight the winner. This way he can hold the 154 belt hostage if he wins. Just like he did at 147. None of these guys do anything enough to please the masses. It's always going to be something to be unhappy about. Always.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit. Making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.
Yeah. So, with that being said, I'm going to get ready to get on up out of here. I appreciate everybody that came out, those who give to the Cash App, the Super Chats. Thank you so much for your donations. I am still on a subscription drive. I'm trying to get this channel up to 5,000, and we're going to get up there with the views. But we need to get up there with the participations of subscribers. And I appreciate those who want to share the content. Those like Learn who don't watch the videos but say that they're going to do it after they finish doing everything, like mow the lawn, put a new foundation on the home, buy a new car, and go grocery shopping. All of those kind of things when you could just listen to the video while you do all of those things. But I don't know why you don't do it, but that's why I call them Learn. But anyway, thank you. And enjoy the fights tomorrow night. And we'll be back next Friday for another Friday night chop session. Peace to everybody out there. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. And you know what? There will be a post-fight show after the fights. Have a good one.